Hi everyone, it's Heather. A little while ago I shared that I have a bit of a thing for stamps and tickets in junk journals, and I was trying to find a way of making some to go into a journal. And I purchased some die cutters and some stamps, and then I went on to Canva.com and I actually made some myself, and I used some images of my own, which are some just illustrations that I did some time ago, and I added those into the stamps. I also used some free images from, I think it's Pixabay, but there's also a site called Pixels, I think it's called that. So free sites where you can get images from for personal use. And also I used some of the Canva images that are on there as well, because I do have a paid subscription to Canva and I think it's really useful. And I did say that I would try and do a video to show you how I use Canva to make my printables, because I think it's a really fantastic resource. Like I say, I do pay for a subscription. It's $119 a year, so I don't know what that equates to in pounds sterling, but it's not a huge amount for the amount of use I get out of it, because I do use it for work. However, they also have a free service, which I did used to use some time ago. So I think it's well worth getting if you want to make your own printables, just for the sheer ease of use. It's absolutely fantastic. I know a lot of people use Photoshop. I've never got on with Photoshop. I have had a paid subscription to the Adobe Creative Suite and to Photoshop, and to be honest, I just can't get on with it. I had to cancel it because it was literally useless to me, because I was just no good with it at all. I can't use Illustrator to save my life. So Canva was a pleasant surprise because it's so easy to use, and their free service is really obviously easy to use. The only difference is obviously you're restricted as to the images and the features that you get with the free service. But if you're making your own printables for your own journals, your own personal use, then the free service is probably absolutely fine. But if you're doing things for work, or you're making journals to sell, then the paid subscription service might pay for itself over time as well. So that's just a rambly introduction to the video that I have made, because I use my iPad. Well, you can see my light there. I use my iPad because I know how to screen record. Well, I did anyway when my young daughter showed me how to do that. So I was able to go into Canva because it's an app, but it's also a web site. So I use it normally. I use it as a website. I use it on my laptop, but you can use it on the iPad as well. So I screen recorded using the app on the iPad, and I'm going to talk over what I did, and hopefully this will be of use to you. I'm not part of an affiliate program or anything like that. I just use it, and I think it's absolutely fantastic, and I think it would benefit a lot of people who want to make their own printables, because like I say, it's so easy to use, and if I can use it, pretty much anyone would be able to. So I'm going to launch into how I used Canva, and I'll show you some of the free images that I found. Now, I went on this particular time just looking for stamps, how to make stamps and tickets. Now obviously not all of the unfortunately all of the ones that I found for my own use were for free. You'd have to pay if you wanted to get access to these. For example, the square stamp that I used is a blank stamp for these ones, and all I did was overlay my own images onto it. And that is unfortunately a paid service. But they had other shapes of stamps. So they had oblong stamps. They were colour fill stamps, but even on the free program, on the free version that you can get, you could still adapt the colour of the background by changing the filter. So even though it wasn't a white square, it was a rectangle, and you could change the filter to, I think it was whimsical I chose, and then it made it a really nice sort of soft brown colour, which would be fantastic for junk journaling. and you could then overlay your own image onto that, or add another image, a free image perhaps from Canva, or from one of the, you could upload your own image from one of the free sites, for example. Anyway, that's enough of the introduction. I'm going to show you now what I did, so bear with me because I've never done a video of this nature before, so all it is a screen recording with me talking over the top of how I did it. So hopefully it's not too confusing, hopefully it'll be of some use to you, but if you've got any questions, please do leave them down below. Can't promise to answer them because I'm certainly not an expert by any means, but I might be able to, and somebody else might see the comment and be able to answer it. So feel free to drop a comment down below and give me a thumbs up if you like the video and get some use out of it. So here we go. Thanks very much.
Hi. Okay, what I've done is opened Canva the app, and I've created a free account using a different email address. So all you need is an email address and it'll let you straight in, and then it keeps prompting you to see if you want a free 30-day trial and see if you want to upgrade to the pro version, which I already have, which is why I had to make another account to see what the free version would do. So what you can do is in the search, you can search for the type of what's it called, document that you want to make, and I chose an A4 document, but there's all sorts in there. You can make your own thumbnails for YouTube and all sorts. So I've opened a blank document in an A4 version, and what I've done is go down to elements. So on the left hand side you've got various options, and on elements you can search for pictures effectively. So they're drawings that you can use, and I've searched for tickets, as you can see in the search bar, and it's come up with all these different examples. There are quite a few. You can see where there are 3 dots at the top of each one. That means they're free, and if it's got a little crown and a pro, that means that you can't use it unless you pay for it. So I've picked one of the free ones, and that's fantastic because it's a blank ticket and you can resize it, and in the app you just use your finger basically on your screen and size it by sort of clicking on the frame around it, but obviously you'd use a mouse or whatever if you're on your laptop or on your computer. This is another free version. Now you can see that you can change the colour, so by clicking on the colours at the top, so you click on the picture, then you click on the colours at the top of the screen, you can change the colour of the background and of the writing as well. So I've changed it to sort of a aqua blue and a black. So now I'm searching for stamp, and you can see unfortunately the one I used myself, the square white one, is not free. That's actually got a little pro sign next to it, so I couldn't use that. So I clicked on it to show you what it would do, and it says that there's a watermark, and when you click on remove watermark it says buy 1 credit for $1.99, so it would cost you $1.99 to get that without the watermark on. So obviously I don't want to do that because I can get it because I have the subscription. But this stamp here, excuse me, that one's free. So that's already got an image on it, but you could use that one and download it and use it in your journals if you wanted to, for free of charge. Now you could, if you wanted, overlay an image onto that, so there's nothing to stop you doing that if you've got another image that you wanted to use over it. So now we're looking for postcard, and you can see in postcard actually there aren't many free versions at all that I would consider using, but if you go up to photos, so that's on the left hand side as well, you can also look for postcard in photos, and you can see here there are actually several that are free, and there's some really good ones that you can use there. So I've picked one of the free ones. So it just goes to show sometimes if you can't find what you want in elements, go into photos, because you can use photos as well. There is a way of, I'm resizing it there, that's why it's going up and down, but there is a way of changing the colours of pictures by going up to filter, and then you can change the filter that's on the photograph itself, and you can make it sort of more grungy looking, or more, it's whimsical's one I use quite a lot, or the grey scale can look quite cool as well. So you can change the filter on it, and then that will change the colour. There are also lots of effects, so sometimes you can remove the background, but I'm not sure whether that's a paid feature. That may well be a paid feature, the background remover. So there's some more photos. So I've just searched vintage, and I've used a lot of these that are free. You can use a lot of them as backgrounds and then overlay your own pictures on there, so they're quite good because there's quite a few grungy ones within the vintage area. So all you do is you'd put it down as a photo, then you'd make it massive and it would cover your whole document effectively. So on the left hand side also you have the option of adding text. So I'm adding some text. So I've clicked text, so I've added some text by clicking on one of those text selections, and then if you go to, so I've just moved it there, but if you go to the sort of top in the middle, you can actually change, all I'm doing obviously is typing on my keypad, you can change the font, and you actually have quite a large range of fonts absolutely free. So there you go, I've clicked, it's Open Sans at the moment, but it will give you the option of others, and I typed in handwriting there previously, so that's why it's coming up with that. So you can change it to make it look like you've handwritten on this postcard. So I'm just going to choose an appropriate font. I think it was Halliman. That's it, and there you go. It's changed the font. It looks like it's been handwritten, and obviously you can resize the text as much as you want as well. You can do that by clicking on the size tab at the top. So that's really useful, that is actually, so you can add your text onto any of your pictures. So I've gone back to the main document, and I just wanted to show you next, going into the photos, back into elements, and that's the text. So I'm just going down. Now you can make moving things and add audio as well, but I don't do that. So we're going a little bit further down to background, because you can change the background of the document completely. There are quite a lot of free backgrounds, so you can change the colour to pretty much anything you want. But here I've just used lines, and it's sort of a sort of grey background colour, but you can change the colour of that. And but I thought lines might be quite useful. Here is the upload side, so that's again on the left hand side. You can add your own pictures from your own photo library, so you can go onto your device and add pictures. So there's a picture I just uploaded for the purposes of this. It's actually it's a felted heart. So I've basically just uploaded a picture of it, and now I'm just adding it into the document to show you how easy it is. And you can download the images from your phone if you've got the app, or your iPad, or your laptop or whatever. Now saving it, there are lots of different options, but I would normally save PDF print. If I want a nice high quality version, then I can save it as a PDF on my computer. So you just press download and it prepares your design, and then it just saves it to your camera roll or saves it to your download folder if you're on your computer. I'll often use JPEGs as well, so it just depends on the application and what sort of file quality I want. So there you go, and that was my design saved. Now this was just to give you a few, just to give you an idea of some of the pictures that you can use. I often use vintage flowers in my journals, so this I just wanted to show you all the different pictures that are already uploaded onto Canva, and you can see a lot of these are free, which is absolutely fantastic. The other elements on there, I just typed in the word frame or vintage frame, and then and all of these ones were free. So all of the ones that I picked up were free images. I think they are. No, they must be, because I'm in the free version. So yeah, so all of these images that I put on here were free, and you can see there's actually quite a good range of flowers, which is fantastic, isn't it, for junk journalers, because we like to fussy cut. So we could make pictures in frames, and we can put those into metal jewellery settings, or we could just download a whole sheet of these and fussy cut them out, or we could use them, you know, to layer up postcards or stamps or journal cards or anything we want to. So it's quite straightforward. Again, you just go into elements, you type in whatever search term you want. So here I'm typing in steampunk to see what comes up. And actually there are a lot of images, but most of them are pro images with steampunk. But you can see there's actually a myriad of pictures that you can use. and some of these would be fantastic for journals. There's a huge amount actually. I quite like the black and white images, and often when you click on them and you bring them into your document, you can change the colour. So if it's a photograph or an image that's on there and you can't change the colour, you can possibly change it by going into filter, remember. So I'm just searching for butterfly, because again that's quite a popular term, just to see what's available. So again, we've actually got quite a lot of free images on there, and I think I picked, yeah, so it's a black and white one, and you can see up the top there, so it's got black at the top of the screen as its colour, and I could change that probably by clicking on the black and change it to pretty much any colour, just by moving up and down that colour scale that you saw earlier. So there we go, I've popped the butterfly inside the frame, and now I'm just resizing it. I'm just using my finger, I know you can't see my finger, but I am dragging it with my finger on the screen to make it larger and move it around. I don't know why, when I was recording this part, it was, for some reason, it was having difficulty getting into the right spot, so I don't know whether my screen was a bit mucky or whether it was internet connection, but I got it there in the end. And here we go, is another free image. Again in black, so it's black line, but I could change that to anything, so I could change that to the brown and make it merge in with the frame. I think all these frames started off as black actually, I changed them. So there you go, there's the document colours at the moment, so I'm just changing that flower to brown to merge in with the frame itself. So I'm obviously going to search for something else now. The word vintage I use quite a lot. Another good feature actually is being able to group images together. So once you've got the images on the page, if you want to resize them all at the same time, you can drag your cursor over them and then group them. And then once you've grouped them, then they'll stay together and you can move them up and down and move them around the page, and they won't alter shape without them all altering shape, which is really cool. So that's just to show another, what they perceive to be a vintage image. There's a clock face. So I've gone back into, I've clicked on the colour, so I've changed it from black to brown because that's the document colours. And you can see that it very cleverly picks out all the photo colours that are actually in the document. So on the left hand side there, the pictures of the flowers, it's very cleverly showing me all the different colours that are within that photograph that I've put onto the page. So obviously this is really good when you're doing design work, because you can make sure that you're sort of coordinating your design with all the colours in any photographs that you're using. So I think that's quite good actually, and it shows you some of the colours that go really well together, which it can actually be really nice when you're planning a journal, because you can get an idea of which colours look nice together. So there you go, that's basically it. That is Canva. I'm not an expert by any means, but it is very useful. I do find that it's very useful for me, for my work, and hence I have the paid version. It does keep prompting you to try Canva Pro. You can even see at the top there. So it will keep saying to you, try Canva Pro, and it'll keep getting you to try to upgrade. I personally think it's fantastic, but you know, £100, $120 is not a small amount of money if you're not going to be using it. So you've got to think carefully whether you would want to be using it on a regular basis. But certainly for me, I use it absolutely tons, and I think it's well worth it, and I get a lot of use out of it, and it's fantastic for making my own printables. So hopefully you found that useful, and if you've got any questions, just add them below in the comments and let me know what you think of this video, and do please give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed this. Obviously consider subscribing if you don't mind, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, bye.